Well, welcome back. Today, doing another video in my what I like to call the Suburban series. I'm going to change out the rear differential fluid on this 2005 Chevy Suburban. Not really a repair video, just a maintenance. I spoke about before. I'm switching all my fluids over to Amsoil, so we're going to drain this rear differential and refill it with Amsoil. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is pretty corroded, is just kind of go around these nuts here. And these bolts, actually the heads of the bolts, and just kind of got to pick and just clean off some of the corrosion on them. Make sure I can get this socket on them, just clean them up a little bit. What we got here. Just kind of work that on. Make sure we get that on there seated well. And start working these off. I might just get, this is a wobble. Probably not the greatest idea for this. I might just have to get a regular 13mm on this to there. Not too bad though. But I think I will get a 13mm for this straight socket. I'll use the wobble when I need it, but I think it's a little easier to do that without the wobble. So these top two, I'm going to loosen them. I'm not going to take them all the way out here. I want that cover to stay put. When I break it loose, that stuff's going to come out of there in a hurry. Alright, so you can do this with a chisel, a flat-bladed chisel, or I've got this really heavy-duty kind of putty knife, probably older than me. And I'm just going to work it in. There it goes. And just kind of work it around and break this thing loose. There it goes. So this didn't take very much, which is good. Beautiful. Just pry that out of the way. Make sure it's loose all the way around. Actually made it all into the pan too. There's our bolts. There's 10 bolts on this. Should be able to get that out of there now. I hope. I better be able to. Yes, there we go. Yeah. So you can see right there, there's the magnet. So that's what we want. We want to clean all those metal, powdered metal, little shaving and stuff, clean out, let that drain. We're going to clean this really, really good. Both sides. Like I said, you can use a razor blade, a scraper. I have a cookie wheel. When you're cleaning that housing, I'm going to put a rag and kind of stuff rags in there. I don't want any of the garbage getting up into that rear and just pulling all the stuff out of the bottom of this. And there's some garbage in it. Get in there with a razor blade and clean it. So I'm not even going to show you that. I'm going to clean this gasket off, clean the surface really well. Do the same for the housing. Clean the magnet. Get all the metal shavings and garbage off of that. And there's a lot of powdered metal on this. I'll show you. There's a big, maybe you can see that if I get it in front of the camera. That's all just like metal powder that's been attached to the magnet. So we're going to clean all that out of there really well. And that's, you know, like as I mentioned earlier, that some of these have a drain on the bottom of them. I would highly recommend, if it does have a drain, it's great because you can drain the fluid out of it easy, but I would still pull the cover just for that reason, to clean that magnet really well and get all the powdered metal, little pieces, shavings and stuff out of there, so it's not covered with that stuff. So one thing I want to note, before I really started scraping this gasket and cleaning this, you'll see I took a rag and I covered this whole differential in here. Stuffed it in there. I don't want any of that material, any of that gasket material, garbage or dirt getting into this differential. So before I did that, I covered it up, and then I'll pull that out. Anything that got on top of it will come out with it, and then I'll clean it again inside, wipe it down. Of course, brake clean. Chemical 1001 use. Alright, so just finishing up cleaning this. The longest part of this job is actually cleaning this housing and cleaning the mating surfaces. To make, they have to be clean. And it probably it'll take me half an hour to do both sides of this. got this rag in there, so what I'm going to do is pull it out at the top. Just kind of peel it out of there. I want to peel it away from the interior and just kind of peel it out. Get anything that would fall on that rag doesn't go in there. And then I'm actually going to go in there with this clean rag, particularly at the bottom. Alright, there you go. Try to readjust. Make sure it's clean. And now, just go on the bottom again. Clean this out. Another clean rag in here. Make sure there's no garbage in there. Nothing. I know, it's exciting. Sometimes, most of the time, this is not very exciting stuff, but I'm just kind of reaching in there, making sure that I didn't miss anything. In fact, where's my 1,001 use chemical here? I'm going to spray along the edge here, in here, and let it run down. Anything that might be stuck. I'm not really spraying it on the gears or anything, just kind of spraying on the housing. Just anything that might be in there that I couldn't see. Flush it to the bottom, and then I can flush it out basically with a rag. Make sure everything comes out. I've got the new cover and the gasket for it, so we're gonna put some more TV on this, and I want to go pretty even bead, and I want to make sure I go around all the bolt holes with this, and then we're going to reinstall it. Okay, kind of a nasty way to do it, but tube's not working, the tube's not working. Line everything up here. The holes lined up. Once this thing gets set, it's not going to want to move, I'll tell you that right now. Kind of pushing it down so it doesn't move around. I mean, I've got the bolt holes lined up. I check one, but I know they're working. Make sure that they're good. They are. So now I'm going to do this side. Do the same thing. Make the same mess on this side. This will go on. I'll put this on, and then I'm going to let it sit. I would let it go. I'm going to let it go overnight, but at least an hour. You want this stuff to set. If you do it too early and it's really not set, there's a good chance of it leaking. I just don't want to deal with that. So we'll let it sit. I don't need this car tomorrow, so it's going to sit overnight after I torque it down. Torque spec for this cover is 30 pound-feet. I've cleaned all the bolts. And I will put some blue thread locker on them, medium strength thread locker, and we'll torque them down to 30 foot-pounds like I said before. Let's go put it in. Without making a mess, just want to be careful putting it in. Okay. Just careful as I can be here to not hit the ring gear. I want to get that lined up as close as I can get it. Okay, I'm going to actually put a bottom one in. I think it's easier to get to. Get one started here, and then I'll put a top one in. Alright, I got two started. Now I'm just going to run the other ones in. Now I'm going to torque these down in a crisscross pattern, basically going across back and forth, kind of a star pattern like you would do a wheel. It's torqued down to 30 pound-feet, and we're going to let that sit overnight. I don't need to have it right away. If you need it right away, you've got to let it sit, I would say at least an hour. Let it sit for an hour and give that sealer a chance to set up. Otherwise it will leak on you. So we're going to let that sit overnight, and then we'll come back and fill it up tomorrow morning. So right here is the fill plug for this. It's 3/8 square drive. You'll be able to put a 3/8 inch ratchet in here. Gotta get it in there. It's a little corroded, so I want to make sure I get it in there without tearing it up. I may have to get a, there, I got it right here. And I'm here and tap it in. Okay. And just back it off here. Just break this loose. There it goes. And we'll just take that out, and then we'll fill. And when you fill this, you have to have a flexible spout or a bottle that has a pointed tip on it. Amsoil does not have a pointed tip, but I have a flexible spout. This particular rear takes 5.5 pints, not quarts, but pints, so just a little short of 3 quarts. So we're going to fill it with 5.5. It should fill it till it basically it comes out of the hole. Well, that's about it. Not really a repair video, but maintenance. Another one, like I said earlier in my Suburban series. Pretty easy to do. The longest part of this is actually cleaning that housing, making sure the mating surface when you put that cover back on is clean so it doesn't leak. Simple to do, but important to change the rear differential or front differential too. In this case, I didn't do it, but I will be doing the front differential whenever the recommended interval is. I switched to different fluid. As I said before, it's 75/90 for this, and this is Amsoil synthetic. That's what I'm using in this. So if you need to do this, pretty easy job. If you like the videos, subscribe below. Thanks for watching.